Rainbow and Frank's consolecreatures.com. I'm here with Cory Davis, the lead designer of this crazy game, Spec Ops, The Line, and we're on a disheveled, disgusting bus that blew up. What a better place to have this interview.
Yeah, it's a good spot. It's also quite warm in here because of all the lights and everything. It feels like Dubai up in here. So,
which is fitting.
Yeah, it's nice. We might be dripping with sweat at the end of the interview. Let's see.
Well, that'll be fitting as well.
Yes, authentic.
Yeah, exactly. Totally authentic. Now, let's talk about this game. It's been, what, 10 years since we've had a title with the Spec Ops?
Yeah, it's been a long time. Actually, you know, we're not associated with those other games. We're doing something completely new. But yeah, it's exciting because we're sort of reinventing something that people remember,
Absolutely.
but we're taking it in a new direction. Our focus on this dark, mature narrative.
So let's talk about the single player action. Where does it take place, and what is, as much story as you can give me, what's going on?
Spec Ops The Line takes place in Dubai, but after Cataclysm...
It's a nice place.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful place.
But not in this game.
It's still a beautiful place. It's just an entombed place. It's different. It's been transformed by these sandstorms that continue to rage in and around the vicinity of Dubai. So there was a whole evacuation effort that went on when these sandstorms first started to hit, but nobody could obviously predict how bad they'd get, that they would actually wall off the city from the rest of civilization. So there was a man stationed there named Colonel John Conrad, who was actually there with a battalion of US soldiers, special forces operators, who were helping out with the evacuation. Him and his squad were commanded to leave, and they refused the command because they wanted to stay behind and help those that could not get out of the city. So it was a huge humanitarian effort that was going on, and then the storms hit in ways that they could never have imagined, filled the city with millions of tons of sand, and his squad was not heard from that moment. But then a few months later, actually a transmission was heard outside of Dubai. And so our squad was called in with, you know, the suspicion that John Conrad could still be alive. How he could
Mr. Walker comes in?
Yeah, this is where Captain Martin Walker and his squad of Delta Force operators put their boots on the ground, and they go in looking for this revered colonel. And what they find there is something they don't expect at all. There's actually people survived there, there's a civilization growing up there, and there's some twisted shit going on that you're gonna have to deal with in this game.
When you're in the game, I hear there's some stuff that you actually control the sand or something at some points. What is that about?
Well, we really wanted the setting to come alive for the player, not just be a backdrop, because I think a lot of times as developers, we find a great setting, but then we just sort of put it in the background. And we wanted you to actually feel like you're in Dubai, that you're actually experiencing what these soldiers are going through. One of the obviously interesting things about our version of Dubai is all of this sand. And so actually it's been piled up on the sides of buildings to the point of, you know, just almost you know, surreal how much sand has been piled up in the city. So it may be piled behind a window that you can shoot and cause a sand avalanche to rush out and crush enemies. You're also going to fight within these brutal sandstorms that continue to rage in Dubai. Really changes the way that the AI works and the way the combat plays out. You got to switch over to your short-range weaponry. The AI is really looking for your muzzle flashes. And so they're trying to surround you. They're trying to work as a squad. The way that they move tactically is completely different. You lose the opportunity to rely on your squad because they're actually not able to see you or communicate with you.
Yeah.
And so you have to, like I said, switch over to short range weaponry and then really pick your shots because these guys are looking for you and trying to surround you. Also, you can throw frag grenades into the sand and kick sand into the eyes of enemies and stun them and things like that.
It's really interactive, the
Yeah, we wanted it to be as interactive as we possibly could make it, so we put a lot of effort into that on the tech side especially.
I love that. Well, on the tech side as well, what about weaponry? What are we working with on this game?
So the squad lands in Dubai with all their favorite shit. And that's what Delta Force operators do. They customize their own weaponry and their own gear, and they bring it with them to the scene. They only expected to be there a day or two max, and they end up falling down into some scenarios that really sort of disconnect them from command, disconnect them from reinforcements, from equipment and things like that. The people they meet when they first arrive in Dubai are just refugee survivors that have armed themselves whatever way they can. So the squad ends up having to evolve into that type of weaponry, and then later on when they meet some other interesting characters that are there, as you can probably imagine, that changes some more as well. So you're going to see later on in the game, you're going to see a lot of different types of sniper rifles, RPGs. We've got Adams, who's an explosives expert. The player's going to get a lot of different types of explosives. We've got some cool weapons like the AA-12, like cover shredding, shotgun, automatic shotgun. Some really brutal, some really brutal weaponry in the game. We want you to feel the power behind this modern military equipment.
I can't let you go without asking about the multiplayer, obviously.
Sure.
So what's going on with multiplayer? What can we look forward to?
So the multiplayer, we really wanted to do a more intimate, squad-based multiplayer experience. It's a lot different than what you're going to find in a lot of our competitors' games. Obviously, it's third person.
Right. Which I love.
Yeah, all those sand elements are coming into play. You're actually playing factions. You're playing in a civil war that happened before Martin Walker arrived in Dubai. And so you're piecing together pieces of that story, and it really gives you context for everything that happens in the single-player game. So that's really exciting. You're going to see a lot of different perks and features and abilities to work with your squad, and if you rely on them, you'll have a much different military shooter experience than you're used to, and I think it's a lot of fun.
It sounds amazing. I would love to take a look at it. When are we going to get to play this game?
So the demo's already out on Xbox Live and PSN, but the full game comes out on June 26th.
June 26th. Okay, let's check it out. The line. Go buy it. I'm gonna definitely check it out. But I'd love to go check this out now. Thank you very much, Cory.